Hello.
Welcome to Marital Hate.
We're not in the pool. You know why?
Well, we're back and forth on that one.
Yeah, we might end up in the pool, but
Hence the swimsuit.
hence the swimsuit. But I don't know if you can see over my shoulder. There's a
Dark cloud in our lives.
well, there's a dark like ceiling with the sun beaming through it. So it's coming in from the north, which is that way. So we could have some boom boom.
I'm gonna try not to sit up too much.
Then they'll have some boom boom.
Hello, this is the Ernie Vans for Stacy and Doug. Why did you just turn the camera away from me? Am I that ugly?
Too much boom boom.
It's not gonna cut it off. Is that what your goal is? Is to cut it off?
No. You know, I was just trying to get a comfortable
I had
camera
a more
angle.
Comfortable for you.
Well,
no, I don't want that. I had it where I wanted it.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm terribly
Thank you for
sorry.
yanking it away.
I'm a Yankee.
I don't even know what to
No
say
more
about
Yankee,
that.
my wanky.
No, I already did that once today. Thank you. I am
welcome everybody.
Of zero. Welcome everybody.
It's 8:01 people. All right, there we got the one. All right, we're good. We're good now.
One
is the
loneliest. No,
anyway. What could be good?
I gotta tell you, I was in a lot of pain again today, and as such, I don't really have anything that I have particularly thought of, but I do have some notes in my phone.
You have some notes
that I have posted over the years, and we may have to refer back to.
I have not started my job at the BMW dealership where I was going to name myself Hotcakes because nobody sells like hotcakes.
I took some cannabis oil around 3 today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like
you
little high, but not really.
It was not a good field day for you.
I was not feeling well. Neither was Doug. So Doug took.
I had this crazy wrench, and I still have it, like in my back shoulder.
He took an Epsom salt bath, and I gave him a hand job.
Yeah, well, it was just sitting there.
Yes, it was.
It's going to tug itself.
Yes, it was.
The bath.
Did it make you feel better?
Yeah, that and the bath.
Okay, well, I would just like to state for the record that I forced you into the tub. I gave you a hand job all while I was in agony.
Well,
I would like some sort of best wife ever award.
You're kind of the Mother Teresa
of hand jobs.
Handy award. I don't know, folks. I don't know what to do with this lady.
You could just say thank you.
I did say thank you many times. Thank you. Saying thank you publicly right now. Publicly, thank you for my wife.
I just want to say,
pretty awesome,
for the record, that I was clearly looking for some positive feedback in terms of this. And as much as sticky gooiness is, I guess, a form of positive feedback. I'm saying that perhaps it would be nice of you to make sure
I'm sorry if I did not.
I was abundantly clear on how much you appreciate the thing I did for you.
Very nice. I don't think
because I tell
the
you all the
podcast
time,
people need to know.
I tell you all the time how much I appreciate the things that you do for me.
Yeah. And I hopefully I tell you reciprocate. And if I don't, I apologize for that. And I will tell the world right here on live internet that my wife is awesome on many levels.
I don't know what Tom Milmore is coming in hot with, but he's got a lot of exclamation points for us today.
I think Tom wants a wife like mine.
Tom probably has a wife like
yours. I don't know. I don't know what Tom has.
Does Tom have a wife, husband, cat, dog? What you got? We won't judge you. I mean, maybe.
Tom is.
Are you the guy that was with Nancy Pelosi's husband with the hammer? Because that would be weird.
That would be weird because
we'll never know what really happened there. What do you think happened?
What, with Pelosi's husband?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care. I really I don't know. I don't care. And it's like
I think he's on the DL or bi, and they had a lover spat. That's what I'm saying. Tom said, "I do."
He do.
Okay, cool.
He also has
good for you.
A Brownsville choir boy. This is what I know about.
What is a Brownsville choir
boy? It's a. I don't want to say it's a cheap guitar, but it's an awesome guitar. It's cool as hell. I own one myself.
Tom has
and
a piece of
I actually bought it after seeing Tom, and I'm like, oh, that looks pretty cool.
It
sounds really good. The black one with the F hole in it. The brownie. It's like a 3/4 scale.
You never play it.
I actually recorded part of my new song, Redneck Graceland, with that guitar because it had that twang.
Okay, how many songs do you have before you finish with this record?
I have the songs. I just have to write some lyrics, record the lyrics.
And have you written the lyrics?
Get it mixed. I'm working on it.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. Up here, I'm working on it.
I see you playing on your phone.
No, I'm working on it. I'm always like running.
Well,
running things through my head.
I don't know about that.
I'm actually putting it in.
Because there hasn't been any progress in a couple weeks.
That's right, because we've been.
Well, we have no more company. Everybody's left.
It's thundering people. Yes, cheap and masonite, I believe, is another descriptor. But those pickups are kind of badass.
You have to put it on screen so people know what it says.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't know how internet work, screen work.
Okay.
Me just guy.
There you go. We had been watching an educational program that I like to call 90210, like OG 90210, not that remake shit from like, I don't know, whenever they remade it. But we've come to a few observations in the process of watching this television show. Well, one, I don't know how Shannon Doherty didn't get an EGOT for her performances because she's amazing. And two, they were the class of 93.
Yes, which depressed the hell out of me because they're actually a year younger than my wife.
Older.
They're a year older. I'm sorry, a year older. And you know what else I found out one time that made me feel kind of weird was the oldest girl, Candace Cameron, on Full House, is older than my wife. Creeper.
That makes you a creeper.
Makes me a total creeper. I can't. If I had known that when we met, I'm like, I just can't.
But it's interesting because
I did.
I really do think the show gave a decent idea as to, minus the wealth. I think it gave a decent idea as to what it was like to grow up in that time period.
Yeah, it was just, it's like it was just so fake. I mean, I kind of agree with you.
There was all this like anti, safe sex promoted at every fucking corner, which was the case on the show.
My generation didn't give a shit about that.
I don't think it's being promoted as much today as it was back then. It was all about inclusivity and white kids. Here's the thing about it is we weren't talking about racism because all the white kids wanted to be black. There was a term, and I don't know if it's offensive to say, so I'm going to spell it. WHIGGA was a term that they used to refer to white people who wanted to be black.
Wow.
And it was a very common thing. Like,
I hear you.
It was different. But like, it's funny because I'd had a chat with Nolan. Love my stepson to death, but he's Gen Z, right? So I'm Gen X, so we occasionally have a conversation.
I will say this about Tom's comment: he likes the parents. We had one of those moments today where
totally derailing.
Well, it's an aside. It's a sidebar.
I know, but I was
okay. Go ahead. Go back to your thing.
I was just talking to Nolan about Nolan had talked about Gen X and saying that Gen X was racist because of Friends. Well, Friends wasn't. Friends was like later, but like it wasn't.
Well, I think
it doesn't represent all of television, and like that. There were white people that had white friends. Like nobody would have a problem with shows like Living Single, where it was black kids with black friends. Like that's.
There was a purpose for that. There was like they had to go and do their own thing. Actually, that was a thing recently where they were saying that Living Single was like Friends before Friends, and it never got its due, whereas Friends did. There was a controversy about that.
I don't know. I just know that it's really easy to judge a time period that you're not from, and I'm not trying to pick on Nolan because I'm definitely not. I have a lot of respect for Nolan. We have intelligent conversations, but if you see something about Friends and then you think, oh, that's what this entire generation is about, I'm telling you, racism wasn't like a concern. It just wasn't. And I went to school at Amherst Regional High School, which was very diverse. And then I went to school at Quell Cassidy in Taunton. We had one black girl and she had blue eyes. I think they were contacts, but she was very light. And so my experience, and before that I had lived in Fall River, and my experience was primarily that white kids, particularly white boys, wanted to be black at that time period of time. Like it was the cool.
Well, there was
thing.
a cultural shift with that.
It was a big cultural shift, and so I don't know, but the point is that we've been having a time watching it, and I think it's a fairly accurate. Yes, it's corny as shit, but I think it's a fairly accurate representation of what it was like to go to high school at that period of time.
Well, it was even a realistic sort of representation of what it was, 10 years earlier or 11 years earlier when I went to high school. Same kind of thing. So I will say this though. I started kindergarten when they started busing from the inner city into my town of New York, and so I always had the mix of all kinds of kids in the class. And then I moved to Worcester, and then by the time I got to the high school, which was a city, there was a good mix of the races. So I think when there's a good mix of them, that it's not as much of an issue.
I don't think you can say them, but
them.
yeah, I mean,
when I mean them is the races. When it's a mix of the races.
I will say that
it's raining, by the way.
I enjoy to be around people with different experiences than I've had. That's my preference.
Well, you're gonna learn from
I want to I'm always going to make friends with somebody that's different than me. That's just how I roll. What other people do is really none of my business. It's not my problem. I try to send a positive message, and yeah. Tom had commented, like you said, I like the parents. Yeah, everybody wanted Mr. and Mrs. Walsh to be their parents. Although we wouldn't have minded being Dylan McKay with his
millionaire
trust fund and that cute little craftsman house and that vintage Porsche.
Yeah, Porsche is not so bad.
Beautiful
but I think the thing about we had the conversation today between, like we were saying, all right, from 3 people on the show, who does the best sex stuff, we'll just say. And so I think it was the mom, Shannon Doherty.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Tori Spelling or something like that.
No, I think we're playing Marry, Fuck, Kill, which is you pick one person, you marry one person, you fuck one person, you kill. Obviously, you're not really going to kill them. Obviously, you're not really going to fuck them. And, we've had this conversation. Or who gave the best blowjob? Another conversation we had.
And you said the mom. No, did you say the mom or did you say the Catholic girl?
The Catholic girl.
Yeah, I don't know who the Catholic girl is, but
anyway. Donna Martin. And Tom points out that rap was a big catalyst.
Absolutely.
But so was athletics. Let's talk about Michael Jordan. I mean, and watch that movie Air. He was a phenomenon. And we not just Michael Jordan, but then just black athletes in general.
Well, my generation, the generation before had Muhammad Ali, which was Jordan got close to that, but I don't think he ever got.
But think about the number of black athletes that came into the spotlight in the 90s. It was huge back then. Particularly after, and as somebody from the Boston area, the Celtics were pretty white for a long time there, right? Danny Ainge, Kevin McHale, don't get much whiter than that.
They had Chief, though. Chief was
Larry
the best
Bird,
player in the history of the NBA.
And then all of a sudden, these black athletes, really got their due and their notoriety, and I think that contributed as well. And on a side note, Halloween 3 is a necessary part of the Halloween franchise, as my friend Dave has so brightly pointed out today.
You guys are like a Kevin Smith movie. Wow, I'm going to talk about Halloween 3.
So
that's what they do on those movies.
Dave says, Halloween 3, are you paying attention? Yeah. Oh, no, dude, I'm totally paying attention. I'm going to tell this story right now. And I'm glad you're laughing your ass off. It just takes a minute for the comments. So what happens is the comments come in. We have comments that we're live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. All at the same time,
and we got to keep up.
And so as the comments come in, we have to select them and put them on the screen. So we're kind of spastic, as you can tell, and so we try to bring them up as we have time to access them. So I want to tell the story of Halloween 3. So growing up in the 90s, I was class of 94. Dave, I think you're class of 92, if I'm not mistaken. In any case, we're in high school, and what did you do? Well, back then you would rent videos, and we didn't even go to Blockbuster. We went to the local video place.
That's the best.
And sometimes we
Did you go through the saloon doors in the back?
No. But we would rent videos, or the Berkeley General Store would have videos. We rent videos, and I had a thing that I would not rent. We eventually got Blockbuster, but for the longest time it was the local place because it was cheaper. And they had promos, and if you got bad B movies, they were 99 cents.
Oh, that's
awesome.
Not a bad deal. Did they have a card that wasn't? They didn't have a lamination machine. So
no lamination, or it went by your phone number or whatever. You had a card in the file box, whatever. So we would rent movies, and we would watch horror movies, and so I would insist that if we watched a horror movie, we had to watch every one in the series.
And you've still never seen a James Bond movie.
I still haven't seen
for that same reason.
Well, I can never watch a James Bond movie for that reason. I'd be watching television the rest of my fucking life.
You don't know what you're missing.
So I thought I almost had a nip slip. Yesterday I had a full-on titty slip. If you missed that,
Boom.
I haven't watched it. I can't believe it hasn't gotten pulled down.
There was a torpedo in the pool. That's all I'm saying.
You mentioned a little poking and they pull you down immediately, but you can show a titty.
Show some titty.
Show all the titty you want. Yeah. So anyway, we would watch, Friday the 13th 1 through 8. I think it was 1 through 5 back then, maybe. I don't know.
You fell asleep halfway through the first 20 minutes of the first one. I always fall asleep.
Shut up. Everybody knows I fall asleep during movies. But Halloween, if you're not familiar with the original Halloween franchise, before it had remakes And the new series that Reed made actually after 2, even though they look like they're extensions, they're not. They just pretended that 3 through 8 never happened, and they're kind of like, or they're kind of similar to those. They took all the best aspects of those films and condensed them and some different aspects. I thought the Rob Zombie take on 1 and 2 was fantastic. That said, when you watch the Halloween movies, there's the first one where, you know, Michael Myers, Jamie Lee Curtis, she's the babysitter. She gets out, she's fine. Second one, Jamie Lee Curtis is in the hospital. Michael's not really dead, yada, yada, yada.
Spoiler alert.
3 comes along. No Michael Myers. It's the season of the witch. These kids have these masks. The masks have like a chip on them, and it syncs to the television and rots their brains from the inside. I really would tell you to talk to Joe Bob Briggs about this. Actually, we need to watch the Halloween 3 with Joe Bob Briggs. Dave, can we do that? Like, can we make a friend date out of that? Because Joe Bob Briggs has all the best movie trivia.
He's got the dirt.
He's got the dirt. Although his male girl, Darcy.
Oh, God, she's terrible.
She should stick to porn.
Yeah.
Her porn's okay.
Yeah, porn is fine.
But, oh, God, she's
just, it was actually average run-of-the-mill porn.
She has terrible personality. Yes, but I would rather watch her porn
than
to listen to that dumb bitch ever talk again. She's awful.
Yeah.
So it's not the point. The point is, you need to have a drink. The point is that I think Halloween 3, it really does stand alone. But I have a strange level of OCD, and I take significant joy in driving Dave absolutely crazy.
Would Dave enjoy it if it wasn't a Halloween movie? Like, could he look at it as like if
it's
it
not
was
about
Children
that?
of
It's about the fact that
corn
whether
too?
He likes the movie or not is irrelevant. It's the fact that I have forced him to watch this fucking movie or rent this movie every fucking time we rented it, and I fall asleep, and so he has to watch the fucking thing, and or probably snuck it by me. And he says, never again. And he's saying, hell no. See, we have very strong feelings about this. He's just got all these, like,
he's going apeshit.
Dave is not happy with me about this Halloween thing, but I've been doing it to him for, 92? So what year is it? 31 years. I've been doing it to him for 31 fucking years, insisting that this poor motherfucker watches Halloween 3. And at every opportunity I get, I bring up Halloween 3. And what Dave and I, we've had so many interesting stories together and memories together over the years.
Have you gone to jail together? Have you got tattoos together? There's got to be something.
No,
there's got to be something.
I crashed his car when I had my learner's permit.
No, there's that.
That wasn't good.
Yeah,
no. I'm trying to win the lottery so I can buy Dave a house or something, but here we are. Tuck doesn't have a job right now. House. Neither do I.
What is this line item?
Not yet. That's right. Not yet, motherfucker.
What is this line item?
Like, you bought him a house because I crashed. Line item was 15 years old. What bills do we have due?
Huh?
What bills do we have?
I'll tell you our bills. No, that's private. That's private stuff. We don't want to
tell me our bills.
Electric.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say.
When's that due?
That's due on the 15th of every month. The 2nd, I said. We have rent.
Yep.
We have your life insurance.
Yep. How much is my life insurance?
It's like $43.
$30.60.
That's what I said for $30. $30.43.
All right. What else we have?
We have car insurance.
Okay.
We have renter's insurance.
What's our car insurance?
$140 every 3 days.
$235 a month.
This is boring.
Our renter's insurance, we pay annually. We usually pay our car insurance annually, but we're broke right now. Anyway, the point is that Dave and I have been friends for a very long time.
And now I have to buy him a house because you were reckless.
Once I had rabies in his car.
Rabies?
Yep.
You have rabies?
I think he deflowered my cousin at a cemetery, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
In a cemetery. Wow, you really like take this whole
I can't remember when they're fucking with me. It was a 78 Ford Fairmont that I ruined.
78 Ford Fairmont deserved the wrath of that. If it was anything like the 79 or an 80,
the worst part is I hit old people, and the old people then hit a tree across the street.
Well, that's their fucking problem.
It kind of was, but it was not a good situation, and it's something I live with every day of my life. Anne says, I have never watched any of the Halloween movies or Freddy for that matter, or any of those blood curling scary shit movies. No fucking way. You gotta watch Sleepaway Camp. You have to watch Sleepaway Camp.
That is entertaining.
Dude, some of these movies were ahead of their time. I would argue Halloween 3 is a perfect example of television being ahead of its time, because the concept is these kids see these things advertised on television that they have to have. And the parents, they're like, okay, we'll buy you whatever you want because they told you on TV to buy it. And the kids put it on and they watch the TV. The parents stick them in front of the TV because that's what they did in the fucking 70s and 80s to babysit you, stick you in front of a TV. And oh, look at that. Half the fucking country's doing that again. As a matter of fact, I got in a fight with somebody about that on TikTok.
Oh, shocker.
I'll tell you that in a minute.
Okay.
But, you know, everybody's putting their kids in front of the television. It's rotting their fucking brains. Never mind the kids. It's rotting everyone's fucking brains. Stop watching podcasts like, oh, no, actually.
This is a podcast.
There's no, like, I assure you, there's
Don't
no
watch
brainwash.
legacy media.
I wouldn't recommend legacy media. And I can't tell you that this podcast is going to, you know.
It's not going to rot your brain. All this riveting Halloween talk.
I think that this podcast gives people an opportunity to have a real human connection. And one thing you'll know is that the 4 people that are here right now, I don't know who they all are, but generally speaking, we have a core group of the original haters, as we call them. Ann, Tracy, Charlie, Todd, Risa, Michelle.
Nora has been coming on.
Nora, Wesley, and Nolan, our kids. There's
Yeah.
definitely people we're forgetting. I said Tracy, I said Todd, Charlie, I don't know who I'm forgetting. Oh, Jeff. There's definitely people I'm forgetting. But anyway, everybody's become friends with one another. When people aren't here, like it's like a big thing. And so we all have fun just kind of hanging out. We want to give people a place so they don't feel lonely. We want to, you know, try to spread a little positivity. We want to be real with people because I think in today's world,
right,
you don't know what's fucking real. So anyway, I think that the Halloween 3 movie was apropos for the world that we live in today.
But not.
And then what was the other movie that we were talking about? And I said, oh, that was another one that was like Sleepaway Camp. And I can't tell you how it's fitting for today because it'll give away the ending, but watch it. It's so good. And it's
not for everyone.
It's not, but it's like not like you're waiting like somebody's going to jump. I don't think there's any jump scares or anything like that. It's just like, oh, fuck, this is happening. And it's not, there's a couple of gruesome scenes, but it's like fake gruesome, it's bad 80s editing. Like some of these horror movies today, I can't even fucking watch. And I went to see The Nun by myself in an empty movie theater. And you
were the person that saw The Nun in the theater.
I know a lot of people saw it. I saw it in the theater by myself on a Wednesday night, and I was scared to shit. It was a good time. And then, so I want to talk about my TikTok thing. So this woman had a video on TikTok and she's like going through her morning routine as a mother of 5. And she's like, my husband took the kids to the gym with him and blah, 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 blah. And so she's like doing this whole, like, so I do my morning reset and I wipe down the counters and I put their dishes away and I get their snacks ready and I refill their water bottles with prebiotic water and I do this and I do that and I do this. And she's like, oh, I'm the perfect mom. And I'm like, wow, this girl is killing it. That house is beautiful. Like, look what she's doing. And I realized like she's probably trying to sell us something. But when she fucking completely lost me, perfect, you know, fake book mom, when she completely lost me is when she sets the table for lunch for when the kids get back and they each have an iPad in front of their seat.
Oh, that's right. You did show me that. Yeah.
I was beside myself. And I said on the comments, I said, hey, you had me until you put the iPads in front of the kids. And I got people came at me. How dare you judge? Tell me you don't have any children without telling me you don't have any children. Bitch, I got 6, 4 and 2. 4 of my own 2 steps. They are grown.
And you know what? Now. When the boys come here, I just stick the iPads in front of them and leave them there for 4 days and then send them back home.
They spend half as much time on their devices when they're with us than they do the rest of the time.
I would guess so.
As do I when they're here. One of which just had a heart attack.
Yeah, one of your old people.
Okay, I'll leave you be. Who had a heart attack?
One of the old people that you crashed into a tree.
Wait, how he just had a heart attack? How do you know that? Are you fucking with me? Tell me what's going on. Dave says The Nun sucked.
No, he says it sucked.
Yeah, that's true. He did say I
like it sucked.
I was terrified, so I'm gonna give it that. But Dave is pickier about horror movies than I am. I like super cheesy shit. We watched what was it? Sharks of the Corn. We like shark movies.
Santa Jaws.
Santa Jaws was good. Lamageddon. Oh, what was it? Jesus Christ Zombie Hunter.
Well, that was a short. That was a short, but that was pretty good.
The cop told Dave that the guy had a heart attack. Jesus Christ, I killed him. Because I don't have enough guilt over this. What can I do?
That's not so good. What can you do about it? Nothing. You can't do anything about it, but you know, whatever. That they were old then. They're probably dead, so don't worry about it. No harm, no foul.
I hope you know that was
No, the week before, dumbass.
the week before. Oh,
The guy had a heart attack.
Oh,
So
I thought I gave him a heart attack.
Well,
I was like
maybe-
suddenly having like, oh Jesus Christ, now I have to fucking off myself. Um,
I don't know. I think dumbass is a little harsh, but especially when you're
no, he's
chatting in code.
Dave is allowed to call me dumbass.
The car accident.
Dave can literally call me whatever he wants.
I don't give a shit.
I've known him longer than you.
He lived. He lived.
Woo!
He lived. He went to see the nun, and guess what?
Oh.
It sucked.
That was probably one of the worst nights of my life. Probably even worse for Dave. And it's something that
Hey, he's still talking to you. That's not so bad.
That's
There's lots of
because-
people that you did less to that are
I
not
don't know
talking to you.
why. I don't know why Dave is still my friend. I make him watch Halloween 3.
Yeah, Dave, what the
I
hell?
crash his car. I make
It
him
doesn't
sleep
sound like there's a lot in
with, I
this
make him sleep
relationship.
with my cousin
with
in a
you.
cemetery.
Well,
They used to
I don't
have-
think you made him.
They
do
used to
that.
have to wait for me out in the mall until I got out of work, and then they like.
Well, they were probably
I think they-
doing shit out in the
Did
car.
you guys throw pennies at people or something? Oh, my dad got him off the charge. I finally
Mm.
confessed to that one and like.
I don't think you ever confessed. I think you just did.
mm,
I think you just did.
way later.
Because it wasn't in the
mm.
list of grievances that your father gave me when we went out to dinner that night. It wasn't in his list of grievances. So.
Oh, my dad.
Oh, there were
was also
lots of things on that
grievances.
grievances.
I think my dad thinks one of two things happened. And I'm not going to discuss them because I feel like we're starting to get into a legal gray area here.
Okay.
And I do. It's something I carry to this day, and I wish there's something I can do to fix it. So one day I'm going to win a lottery and buy Dave a house.
And that's going to fix everything. You and your money, you think you can fix everything?
I do nice things for people.
Just
I
like
literally
what's
do
his
stuff-
name from Microsoft.
I literally do nice stuff to my own for other people to my own detriment on a daily basis. So I
Yeah,
think
that's
like
true.
I'm trying to live a good life. I've just done some stupid things in my life. And I wasn't drinking or anything like that. I just crashed the car.
I don't know if you can see, but next to Stacy's head over there, we have a kind of a greenage situation going on here. It's kind of green in the
What does that even
in the
mean?
air. It's the atmosphere. The sun's coming through these weird ass clouds, and it's making everything a little green. Yeah, put those away, will you? Stow those in their upright compartment.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Oh yeah. So Dave says Doug, her father was cleaning his guns the first time I met her. Why
Seriously,
didn't you tell?
Why do parents do that? Like, why does the dad do that? Is he really going to shoot some guy for finger
I
banging
will
his,
say,
his little
Dave-
girl? It's not going to happen. They're not
Dave,
going to go to
I
work.
will say, out of
Jail for that.
all of my friends,
Dave
out of
would've taken a
all
bullet
of my
for you.
friends, well, yeah, that too. But
okay.
thank you. I would have taken one for him. I would still do that today. Would you like a kidney? I will give you one.
You don't want that disease.
The cat's back. But my point is that what the fuck was I talking about? My dad is nuts. Was and is nuts. He's gotten worse. He's drinking again.
He would shoot groundhogs from a toilet
Yeah, he knows.
while he's going on.
Dave
the
was
toilet.
there for
Yeah.
that.
All right, so
So
maybe
my
he
parents,
used the guns a lot. and he needed to clean
if
them.
I was with Dave, my parents were like not worried about me.
Right.
Like they were like, Dave is respectful. But my dad wanted me to marry John Reese. What a fucking idiot he was. He was a piece of shit too. Still is. Stole a bunch of my shit. And he Dave was just like my best friend for like forever.
So you
We went
crashed
to
his car.
homecoming.
That's the thanks you got.
Was it sophomore year? I think it was right before they made me a junior. Sophomore year, Dave and I went to the
You were
homecoming
confused.
together, and I had a bad perm. I don't know how he was remotely attracted to me. Dave had hair. Neither of us had any tattoos, and we both weighed about, I don't know, half of what we weigh now, if not less. But we had such a good time. He was such a good friend, and we would listen to He Hated Mr. Jones by Counting Crows.
So I'm right with you.
And I would sing it like,
Oh.
believe in me. And Dave would be laughing.
Oh,
And we
holy
would
crap.
change the words to songs.
Yeah.
We listened to Cypress Hill and
Oh, you know it's almost as bad. Actually, it might even
Violent
actually be
Femmes,
worse
Chili
than
Peppers,
the
Beastie Boys.
that Counting Crows fiasco. Is that Spin Doctors? Oh my God, were they bad?
I like the
They
Spin
were
Doctors.
awful. They had two songs that were exactly the same, and never heard from them again.
Okay, so this is how crazy the world is. Dave was my friend, and I became friends. Like he introduced me to his friend Ross. The guy Lenny that I like started helping out, this disabled combat Vietnam veteran who passed away last year. I started helping him out, and come to find out that his nephew was Dave's friend. Dave was in his wedding.
Oh,
It's a small world after all.
and then the wife
That whole family has big dicks, by the way. Go ahead.
So
Wife.
the wife.
Oh, and the one guy, Dave's friend, his high school girlfriend for like a long time, he proposed to her. She dumps his ass and is with his brother and refuses to give back the ring. But they all just got a bunch of money and I did not. So there you go. I saved the man's life. Would have been nice to get a thank you card, but
All right, wait.
Dave says true.
All right, so hey Dave, men are smarter than women, right? True.
Really, men are smarter.
Dave's a big Liberace fan. True. Dave loves Michael Bolton. True.
Dave, if you want
I can't
help,
believe I hadn't thought to do that.
I finally found a way to repay you for all the mischief I've caused in your life. And I believe the answer is to help you hide my husband's body after we murder him. I'm down. I got you.
Whatever.
I got your back, babe.
I'm worth more alive.
And he's telling you to shut the fuck up. Dave, actually, he's such a sweetheart. Like I
met Dave. He came to our house.
That's true. But like, I'm talking to people in the world. Like if you met like Dave, you would look at him and you'd be like, oh, like, what's this guy? Like a biker or something? Like he's the biggest.
Isn't he like,
he's the biggest sweetheart on the planet. Like he's the nicest person you will ever fucking meet. He's such a sweetheart. He's so kind and thoughtful.
And he has like a really
and
interesting
funny.
job from what I remember.
He's a machinist.
He was a machinist for like
he did at one
pure
point
metal made
so
for
he did they did the reflective part in front of mag flashlights, but here's the thing that they did that was cool is they made the football helmets for Snoop Dogg's football team, and they made lacrosse nets. He got Tori a lacrosse net at one point.
A net.
It was cool as shit.
Nice.
Or who I think it was Dave that got Dave. It was you that got Tori the lacrosse thing, right? It was like the Nike thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people hook me up with
shit.
Well,
somebody else gave you a snowboard for
my friend Shane gave me a snowboard for Victoria. Yeah, Tori really made out from all of my friends because you know what, she was like a boy herself, and like I say that in the most flattering of ways. Like she was a tomboy, I was too. I think she probably still is now.
And the football.
Tori snowboarded. Ronnie skied, lacrosse, surfing. Like she just soccer, football. Like she could just do whatever she did. Dave says she's in. Well, that's it. We got to kill you. Will you be my new husband? I'm going to need a new husband.
But just if you dig around here, just don't disturb any gopher tortoises because that would upset my ghost.
We just have to knock him into the pool. He can't swim.
I was in the pool today for a short period of time.
It was part of his shoulder thing. I am so tired.
Yeah, it's actually the sky is breaking up right now. It's actually looking pretty good.
We may have to jump in the water. I don't know how that was aside from what I was just saying. I was just saying
you're yawning. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, the neighbor's dog is barking, and I have a few friends that have an opinion about that.
Dog, Dave, do you want to kill that dog? It'll be fun. True.
I do use copious amounts of. Tell them something.
I have nothing to say.
You have nothing to say.
I get yelled at all the time for looking at the radar on my phone or pulling up something.
Somebody
on my phone.
just messaged me about their ride tomorrow.
Well, yeah, they can wait till you're done.
So my memory is shit. Okay, well, but I'm saying that perhaps you should have some topics.
I would like to talk about one of my favorite movies of all time is Hot Tub Time Machine. Okay. One of the greatest films ever.
And what about it?
I'm just getting equal time. If you can talk about Halloween and this and Sleepaway this.
What do you want to say about the movie?
It's genius. It's Crispin Glover in yet another time traveling movie, and he's great in it. Loses an arm.
Which time traveling movie?
Then they go back in time. He's got the arm back.
Which movie is Crispin Glover better in? Hot Tub Time Machine or Back to the Future?
I think he's got to be better in Back to the Future.
He
wasn't in the follow-ups, and they weren't as good. So
I would go Hot Tub Time Machine, and
he was so good.
He was in the sequel to Back to the Future number 2.
He wasn't. They actually took his like facial mask and put it on somebody else, and he sued them for it.
No,
it was a big deal. Yeah, it was like a serious thing.
That's why he looks so weird.
Yeah.
No way.
Serious. Look it up, people.
Dave's listening to an argument next door. He's got to go laughing my ass off. Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah,
thumbs
that's right.
up.
It's so good.
That's right, because when you go in a hot tub, somebody might put their thumb in your bum.
She tried to put. No, never mind.
I did. I tried to put my thumb in your bum when you were in the tub today.
Well, yeah, actually, you did. You said boop, and I wasn't down with the boop. Other favorite movie of all time, probably my favorite movie of all time, is Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. It could be the perfect comedy movie. It's an R comedy. Apparently, they don't make a lot of R comedy movies anymore.
I'm so tired.
You cannot sleep a wink. You're so tired.
Okay, thank you, Paul McCartney.
He's the other guy.
So one of the things I want to talk about the podcast and the direction thereof, and I'd like to see what our friends have anything to say about this.
Yes,
because there's 5-6 people here. I think Anne was here at one point.
Anne was, and then she got scared by all the horror movie talk.
Here's my question. We're at 70 episodes in, so before you know it, we'll hit 100.
Yes.
And I think I haven't done the editing to put short form content onto other platforms. And I want to do that. And I don't have, I haven't had the time. I haven't been feeling up to it. I have some personal stuff that I need to, personal documentation stuff that I need to deal with first. So then, okay, we sit down and I finally get around to editing. We have some short form stuff, maybe that helps. Maybe we do some more promotion. You haven't done any promotion. I wanted you to do your Weathers of promotion. Maybe we do some more stuff to promote the podcast. Maybe we change the format. Maybe we do it shorter. Maybe we do it longer. We really love to hear any suggestions that everybody has. I got to tell you, when there's people watching and interacting, it goes so well. We have such a good time. We have such a great podcast. But when there's not, it's not so good. And then, of course, nobody wants to rewatch it.
When you're not feeling well, you don't have a lot of stuff to pull in, and sometimes I get busy, and I don't have a lot.
Well, what happens is, we'll get back to that. What happens is that if I'm sick during the day, I'm not researching for the podcast, and so we kind of have to make it up. And sometimes we make it up and it comes out beautifully, and sometimes it's like boring as shit. Yeah, that's been a problem. It is what it is. I have a chronic illness. If I didn't have a chronic illness, I wouldn't have time for this shit. Go ahead, Doug.
I was just going to, one of our comments came in. What the heck is a chicken rondelet? All right. So
how did that come up?
Because in the description, I put we entered the 70s, right? So I said, we're going to be complaining about Watergate. And I forget what the other thing was. It was 3 things.
I wouldn't put that on there because people think that that's what we're really talking about. We're not talking about Watergate. 90% of the talk we have is about dicks.
Bell bottoms and chicken rondelets. Now, chicken rondelet, I totally forgot about, but it was so they invented
like a chicken patty.
They came up with some crazy
like a chicken patty.
Hang on, they came up with some crazy ass stuff in the 70s. Now, the chicken rondelet was essentially a chicken nugget that was probably about 4 inches around, right? But they gave it this name, chicken rondelet. Like, you could put it in a toaster, you could put it in a toaster oven, heat it up,
like a chicken patty.
It was essentially a chicken patty, but they called it a rondelet. Like, and that was the beauty of advertising.
You and my aunt are born around the same time. You should know the
same
things.
I'm gonna look up the packaging for chicken rondelet, and you can see how
if it doesn't work out with me, you can date my aunt.
She has someone.
That's true.
And she doesn't have good insurance. I don't have good insurance. It wouldn't work.
In the grand tradition of my family, our family tree does not fork. So there you go.
Yeah.
Again, no children resulted in the non-forking of our family tree, but no forking.
Here it is. The original recipe, Weaver chicken rondelet. So look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? Doesn't that that just looks an original recipe too? I mean, I don't think you can improve on that.
Anne says I'm still here.
Anne is here.
Guys, Anne, I'm curious.
Hearing about the chicken rondelet.
Knew what a chicken rondelet was. I've never heard of one. Dave's gone, or I would ask him.
So
I don't even know if Todd's here.
Whenever I hear of a new product or something, right, I always think back to the creative ad agency initial kickoff meeting, as to what they're looking to do, right? So it's we have a chicken patty.
Yep.
It goes in the toaster. Yep. Great, that's convenient for moms. But pro. It is a benefit of the product. And then they're like, well, what do we name it? Well, let's come up with things that are round. A rondelet. I don't know what a rondelet is, but I'm sure it's Roman for circular patty of some sort, something like that. So you go back to the original meeting that they come up with this stuff, and it's actually pretty funny because you can call anything you want when you're coming out with a product. And I remember I was working for a company that put out this product, and then I forget what we called it, but we called it techno something technology, you know, and we have the same thing. What was the AccuBake oven at our old house? It was like, oh, it's got AccuBake. Like, what the hell is AccuBake? AccuBake.
Everything in the world is about branding.
It's just
You should
made.
know that.
Everybody just makes stuff up. So I am here to make stuff up.
I gotta tell you, I don't like when you make things up. I'm also very hot. Can I go in the pool now?
You can go in the pool. Todd is here, which we'll put up on the screen. Todd is here. Look at her. Look at her go there. She's wearing a swimsuit. I'm very proud of my wife.
Big day in your house.
Ian says Doug's older than me. Doug's older than me, so I have no freaking clue what you're talking about. The chicken rondelette.
How are you older?
I don't know if I'm older than you. I think Ian and I are the same age as far as.
You're both 29.
I'm gonna Google this.
Down here or no?
Sure. I'm gonna head down to the water side. Here's my lady friend.
Hello, boys and girls. So we were talking about chicken rondelets still.
No, I think we're done with the chicken rondelette, but can you think of any other? Like Chicken Tonight was a product.
No, I didn't eat weird chicken.
Chicken Tonight.
Like, let's talk about non-weird processed foods. What is it about when you move the thing down here every time we flip over? Look at this. Why are we backwards? It's so weird.
I don't know. It's impossible.
I don't know. I would just like to avoid eating crappy food. So today, although today I was super hungry at 5 because I didn't really eat enough for breakfast. And then I filled up really quick at lunch. So we ordered Ford's burgers for dinner and mine sucked. So that was a mistake. I ate junk food and it was crappy and it cost too much money. So lesson learned. Here comes Douglas Claus. Did you find a way to get in without letting your butt touch the water?
No, I'm in the water, but I'm gonna keep going.
Do you feel soothed on your butthole?
It's nice. It's nice.
There he goes, floating on by.
You know what I feel like?
What?
A chicken rondelette.
My God. You guys got him started and he's never going to shut the fuck up about chicken rondelette. What the hell is going on with my eye makeup? It was cute at one point. So yeah, we've been watching 90210. Been trying to figure out what direction to take the podcast in. We've been praying for our friend Todd and his mom because his mom's in the hospital. Somebody else had my other friend Todd. I meant to reach out to him and ask him how the service went. Yeah, we just kind of getting through every day ourselves and trying to encourage the people around us. And
right now I'm maxing and relaxing.
Doug is maxing and relaxing. He's using me as an anchor. Todd is says I need tacos. I'm not as excited about.
You're not a
tacos
taco fan. I love the taco.
Not really. I will eat the lettuce wraps. I like lettuce wraps a lot.
It's like a lettuce.
I don't do gluten usually, so there you go. Although I did have gluten at dinner tonight, but my stomach seemed fine. Although I still haven't pooped, so
that was a lot of protein.
Today I have not pooped. I didn't eat all of mine. 1, 2. We need a lot of protein.
I eat that.
You need protein and fat.
You said I look skinny today.
You do look skinny because you haven't been eating half as many carbs as you normally eat. And if you stop sneaking a bowl of cereal every night and a bag of pretzels every night and started sneaking a vegetable or a fruit.
Although my friend George called me today and I said, oh, what's for dinner? Because he was going into the house and I'm like, oh, what's for dinner? He goes, oh, Sandy made spaghetti. I'm like, oh, that's too much. That's gluten for me. It's too much gluten for me. But I love pasta. I love pasta. I love rice. I love potatoes. I love all that stuff. Give me a pizza crust. Give me toast. I love all of that.
I'm doing an interesting thing right now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I had my leg kicked out behind me and I was moving it in and out like ballet class.
She thinks she's in ballet class here on the podcast.
No, but I haven't really been getting a lot of exercise lately. So.
Yeah, I've been swimming in this pool every night on the podcast.
You're not swimming.
Yeah, look. Yeah,
your heart rate's really high.
I told you I was maxing and relaxing.
Okay, Will Smith. Maybe Chris Rock should come and smack you.
It's not very nice. It's unprofessional.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Who are we blaming that one for?
Huh?
Who are we blaming that one on?
White people.
I'm blaming Jada.
Oh, that's an interesting turn of events right there.
I don't know what kind of pussy she's got, but it must be a good one because he's.
And maybe she's got the dirt on him, and he's got to be nice to her.
I've heard he's gay.
You've heard he's gay? I have not heard that one. For Tom Cruise. But these are all unsubstantiated rumors. I heard Liberace was gay. I don't know about you guys.
Liberace was gay.
Freddie Mercury.
We only have our bars are fading in. Look at that one bar.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
We have all this extra internet now, and now we are lacking in the
But
bars.
if you look up on the top of the Mac, those I have all the full bars. But in this little thing, it's going
jumping back and forth,
It's like a
we should have it chat with StreamYard that the Wi-Fi was cutting out, despite being
streaming.
solid on our end.
yard. Moped.
So it is 8:46. We talked about a little bit of television. We weren't particularly prepared for class tonight. We haven't watched the news. Have they finally stopped talking about the submarine?
No, they found the wreckage of the submarine and they pulled it up today. So we got our first look at the submarine crumple.
Apparently, the young man wasn't supposed to go. The mother was supposed to go, and the young man went instead to like bond with his dad. It's just like
They bonded.
But there was some stuff that's like being hidden, like the media's not talking about, like lab created meat being available for sale, cleared by the FDA.
I ain't eating that shit.
Well, either.
I love me some science, but I don't need to eat meat that was grown in a lab.
I found out something interesting today, and I forgot to respond to Christina.
But if I do need an ear, I'll take one of those ears that they grow on a rat or something. I'll take one of those. That's
Okay.
good science right there. But I'm not eating it.
Rosie O'Donnell has one of those ears.
That's on a show.
On a show, Rosie O'Donnell got a rat ear. I'm just saying that if somebody seems like they have a rat ear, it's Rosie O'Donnell. That lady is a rat ear.
She's fine.
She's a rat's asshole. You don't think that you think she's fine?
I don't know. She didn't bother me. I don't give a shit.
Okie dokie.
All I know is that she was smart enough to get the hell off of The View.
I don't
it
know
was
why
toxic.
she left. Did she get kicked off, or did she leave?
I
of her
think
own
her
free
and
will?
Barbara had little issues.
Apparently,
'cause
Barbara
was not so
Walters.
nice.
I do not have a very high opinion of Barbara Walters, especially the way that she treated young women. Not a fan.
Maybe. I don't know. It's all conjecture.
What do you mean? It was shown on national television. The way that she fucking basically like paraded Brooke Shields around like a piece of meat. Like it was terrible.
I think a lot of people did that.
Okay, but she's a woman and she was part of the fucking problem. Like that's not
Well,
cool.
there you go.
I do not like Barbara Walters.
Huh.
I don't really want to talk about the submersive. I think that anybody who eats lab created meat is insane. I think, but I also think you're crazy if you eat soy. So there's that.
Well, soy in and of itself was not the problem. It was the genetic pesticide and modification
yes, okay, but
and lab creation thereof.
soy is also incredibly high in estrogen. Just keep that in mind.
You won't grow some boobies.
If you are having problems not being able to sweat, it's often related to your thyroid. So I am going to start experimenting with some iodine. I still have not solved my gastroparesis problem. I don't know that I ever will. I am taking supplements from Standard Process and drinking a shitload of fluids and eating coconut oil with every meal, but still having the issues. I really wish I had lots of money so I could get a whole bunch of colon hydrotherapies. Barbara Walters is a bully. Look at how many people that she interviewed and made them cry. Yes. And the people she worked with and made them cry. Jenny McCarthy said that working with her was a nightmare. I believe Elizabeth Hasselbeck said the same, but I could be wrong. I don't think she was a nice person.
Now, Jenny McCarthy is somebody that got a lot of bad PR, but I think she's a half decent person. I don't think she's like.
Oh, she got a lot of bad PR because she spoke up about her concerns pertaining to the current vaccine schedule, despite not being anti-vax, and as it relates to autism. And everybody,
she has an autistic son.
She has an autistic son, and she made major dietary changes for her son, and made a lot of changes in his life, and his autism symptoms are effectively gone.
Legend.
No, compared to what they were, he went nonverbal and he's speaking again. Like he was. Like,
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know he was like nonverbal.
Yeah, no, it was bad. So
because anytime I'd seen him, he was
obviously
right.
like if you can see what her son's like if you watch Jenny Loves Donnie. Her son's name is Evan, and he's a lovely young man. She's clearly done a great job with him.
She seems like
it seems like Donnie's very good with him, and it seemed like Jim Carrey was very good with him. I don't know. What I know is that, she was fighting for her child, and she genuinely cared about other children. And, the fact that, they're not going to discredit the information that you have. They're going to discredit you and personally and go after you personally and say, oh, who are you to say this? Well, I think Robert F. Kennedy and his campaign is leading rise to people finding out some information that they didn't know. And I've had, concerns about the current vaccine schedule as opposed to what it was when we were growing up for quite some time. And having, watched, done my own research, I have serious concerns. And I think everybody needs to do their own research. And I'm grateful for RFK because the man is quite frankly risking his life by coming out as anti-pharma as he is. He said if he's elected day one, he will remove all, he will have sign an executive order banning the advertisement of pharmaceuticals. Well, 90% of the news revenue comes from, drum roll please, pharmaceuticals.
I can't even imagine what that would do to the ad industry,
because
that is so much of that industry.
He's saying he's taken precautions and whatnot, because we were watching Rogan today and Rogan was like, do you know what you're doing here? Even without his family history of people being assassinated.
Alleged assassination.
No, no one debates that they were assassinated. Now, what's debated is who did it. And he believes, was it the CIA? Both of them.
Well, yeah.
That's what he believes.
Yeah. And
we'll never have all the documentation. We'll never know the truth.
And if you think
Trump
about
wanted
it, right,
to reveal it. They wouldn't let him.
If you think about it, that kind of shows you why the Warren Commission maybe didn't do such a good job on purpose. It also explains that why it's such a mystery, because people's minds wouldn't go there and say, "Oh, it was an inside job." Right?
But the thing is that
wouldn't go that far.
But the thing is that I think it's a mystery to some people.
Oh, right.
But
No.
That
At
people,
the time, I meant. I mean,
I think to people who have seen what our government is capable of, it doesn't seem like a mystery at all.
No, I'm not discarding that. I'm just saying over time, right? I think over time, that kind of stuff has been more widely proven and
I guess. I mean, and say what you will about social media, but there's a lot of stories that aren't getting covered by the news that people find out about via social media. So I'm glad for it. Although they're trying to suppress it. Anne says soy sucks. I agree with her. And I don't think that anybody would know that if it not for the internet. I think, it's really, you have to do your own research on everything and formulate your own opinions. I really advise people talk to people with different opinions than they have. Doug and I see the world very differently. We have two very different ways. It's not even that we have different opinions. We just approach everything differently. And the thing that's good about that is we can discuss things and come to some sort of reasonable, understanding, and we understand why the other person feels the way that they do. And that's always my thing. It's I'm not going to judge what you're saying, but I want to know why you think what you think. And I want to make sure you have the information that I have. And I want you to send me the information you have, and it's not that I don't believe you, but I need to ask intelligent questions about anything that I read or any opinion that I have. And I'm always evaluating my standpoint on whatever. What are you doing
I'm
over
trying
there?
to get back. I took a bad angle. I will say this about the two of us having vastly different viewpoints.
Mm-hmm.
It's given me a unique perspective on my own perspective, if that makes any sense, right? I think there's things that I wouldn't even have thought twice about, I would just spend, all right, that's not for me, whatever. And then I look into it, and there's definitely a lot of times there's definitely merit, and I usually end up at the same conclusion or whatever. But I think it's I talk to a lot of people that seem to have open minds or think they are open-minded, but they are so closed off. And this is something I heard on a podcast the other day, was that the two sides have become very tribal, right? And that's the word they use,
Mm-hmm.
where it's you want to win at all costs, and you don't want to admit defeat, right? You don't want to admit that you're wrong ever, right? So, and you see that so much on both sides. Whereas I try to be someone that's will look into, not even look into, but like accept kind of both things and take what's good from either side. And I think there's a lot of that. And I think there's a lot of people, that miss that because they don't want to hear anything from this side, and the other side doesn't want to hear anything from the other side. Whereas like, yeah, you got a point there, and you got a point there, but nobody wants to admit that. And and we certainly do not agree on a lot of stuff.
No, but we can find a happy medium, or like there's certain like sometimes like Doug absolutely hates Trump, and he like will get to a point where he's just hammering that. I'm like, I know that you don't like Trump. We disagree about this. Like, there's no point in us hashing it out some more. I'm not, and that's been one of the things that's been really hard for me, is that because I've been open about my politics, I've been a target for a lot of people's anger. Like, they're mad at the government. So rather than, I don't know, do something about it on a federal level, they're going to come at their friend. They're going to defriend you. They're going to block you. They're going to call you names, whatever. And I did not have, and if you talk to, it's actually really funny. If you talk to somebody in New England, they're going to tell you like I'm a far right conservative. You talk to somebody down here, they're going to tell you I'm a hippie liberal. The reality is if I were going to be classified as anything, I'd probably be a libertarian. I just want everybody to do their thing and leave everybody else alone.
The most interesting dynamic of all this, right? I mean, it was different when we got together. Oh, hello, Al. When we got together, it was like the difference between Obama and Mitt Romney, or Obama and John McCain. And then when Trump happened, it was more of the outside forces. Like, people are like, "Oh, your wife likes Trump, so you must be pussy whipped, and you must like Trump too." And like, not understanding that you can have different viewpoints about certain people, or different things, or different tastes, in any across the board, whether it's food, movies. I don't like horror movies.
Well, we're just very different people all across the board. I mean, be it about our politics, or just like, the way we sweep the fucking kitchen floor. Like, it's just something, different. Ann says, sorry, what kid needs 78 fucking vaccines? I don't disagree with you. We may get this podcast pulled down for saying it, but I don't disagree with you. They were killed, and there's no doubt about it regarding the Kennedys.
They did.
I agree with you. Social media is helping the truth come out. I do agree with that. Social media is helping the truth come out, but also it helps misinformation come out. And it's like, it's actually really like, I have like little games I play with myself where I have certain people in my life that, like, the people that post on their Facebook wall, like, Facebook is going to start charging at midnight tonight, and if you copy and paste this, you won't have to pay, and blah blah blah. Those fucking idiots. Like, the same people that send the chain mails from the Saudi prince and the whole fucking 9 yards. Like, they're just not people I find to be credible in general. I don't like anything they say. I'm like, no, okay, sure. Like, I don't even bother looking it up. And if somebody posts something that seems credible, I'm like, I want to know more about that, even if it's not something I agree with. It's just hard, because it's like, when I read an article, the first thing I look at in that article is this a biased article or not? Is it biased in one direction or the other? And a good way to tell is adjectives.
All I want is
adjectives,
some goddamn content.
But don't you think adjectives are a good way to tell if an article is like, if there's adjectives, like adjectives are not facts.
But I mean,
or like the long descriptions of someone's personality type, like, like,
big fatso walked in. And,
therapist says so and so is blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, okay, because they know that person, other than seeing them on television, like, and like, even like, let's say, for the sake of argument, a doctor had examined a presidential candidate and said they were fit to hold office. Do you think that and I'm not naming any specific presidents, if the shoe fits, Joe Biden can probably fall over it, but would you believe that a doctor's letter declaring health, and it could be of any candidate, would be a reliable determinant of what that person's health is? Or do you think that the doctor just writes the fucking letter? Thank you.
I think there's so many people you can get anybody to write anything if you have enough money and power.
Yeah, what do you want us to write? Give us money and power.
No, that's not true.
It's not true. We wouldn't do it. Although Doug does make crazy shit up. If anyone wants to see things in different lights and form a well-informed, thorough process, then look at this site. What site?
This podcast.
This podcast?
Yeah, this podcast.
I don't think
is
that's
the
what she
truth.
means, but maybe.
It is the truth.
Well, we don't really talk about current events all that much. We did talk about Gwyneth Paltrow for a while there because we were just annoyed by her. But like most of it's just, you know, you look at the world around you and you realize like we're all getting fucked. And, you know, I don't know, the old adage, united we stand, divided we fall, is forever true. But people are just too fucking stupid.
There's a great
They're like,
YouTube video.
I'm going to put everybody in a box. What box are you in? Oh, I don't like the people in that box because the TV says, and we don't like each other. You're a racist. You're a homophobe. You're a pedophile. Like, oh, come on.
There is
Get
a
the
great,
fuck over
if you go
yourself.
on YouTube, there's a search for the thing, Don't Be a Sucker. And I think it's from like the early 50s, late 40s about fascism and division in the country and things like that. It's almost like
Is it a movie?
It's like a little like short movie like that they would have shown in schools or something like that. But it's like I'm kind of starting to think that it might be a fake because it's so perfect about you know, it goes, you know, from like, oh, I was in Nazi Germany when this happened, and this is the same thing that's happening now. And the guy goes on about like how the Catholics are bad and how the Masons are bad, all this stuff. And it's almost to the point where like I'm starting to like think that, oh, maybe they fake this to just get it to go viral. But if it's legit, it's fantastic. But it's called Don't Be a Sucker. It's a black and white, like,
If somebody can
newsreel
find that
footage.
and send it to me, I would love to see it.
Yeah, I'll find
Charlie says money and power corrupts. It can. It doesn't always. People need to get the bias out of their hearts and look at everyone for whom they are good, bad, and to be honest. Bias equals ego. I agree with you on that. I agree that but I also think that, you know, we ought not judge one another because, you know, you don't know what other people's situations are. Yeah, judge the media, judge the government, judge the powers that be because, you know, they're organizations. So it takes multiple people coming together to make this fucking shit show of fucking over the American public happen. But when it comes to individuals, I'm going to judge them on their own merit. And I will always have a good chuckle at a stereotype about a group of people because sometimes they're true and sometimes they're false. And let's like joke about it because it's fucking ridiculous. I mean, really, like, who cares? Who cares? Like, I'm going to judge you on your merit.
Well,
and if you're my friend, like
the people that are holding that burden, they care because they've been discriminated against or they've been called
yeah, but that's
these
the
names,
thing.
or they weren't allowed to move into certain neighborhoods.
Herein lies the point.
They care.
But herein lies the point. It's about intention.
Right.
And if we take ourselves too seriously, maybe our ego is the problem.
I'm just saying you still need to be sensitive over
I
the things that people have been through and dealt with.
First of all, of course I'm sensitive about the things that people have been through and people dealt with. It's all I fucking do is help other people with their fucking problems. But at the same time, I believe that laughter is the best medicine. I believe we all take ourselves way too seriously. And I think that we need to laugh about a lot fucking more than we do. By the way, I think that jalapeno or tomato might need some water. All this stuff might need water.
Yeah, it was hot today.
I don't know what's going on with the strawberry plant. And of course, I'm queasy all of a sudden.
Bleh. In the pool. Don't throw up in the pool. You're
I'm
cleaning
going
it.
to try not to. I can't do anything. I feel like shit. So I don't know. I think that it's I think the best thing that we can do is have conversations with our friends, neighbors, colleagues, strangers, whatever. Have conversations. Be kind to one another. Let people see the good in the world and let them realize, oh, wait, even though we might be different in some way, shape, or form, be it male, female, colors, sexual preference, religion, sports team fan, whatever category somebody wants to fucking put you in, I think we're all a lot more alike than we are different. And so if we come together, we're going to be in a much better place than divided, which is exactly what the media and the government and corporations want.
Take today's episode, for example.
They want to manipulate your ego to sell you shit. They want to make you feel bad about yourself and tell you, oh, if you buy this piece of crap, you'll feel better. Oh, if you take this pill, you feel better. If you watch this TV, we'll make you feel better about your life. We'll tell you what you need to be nervous about so you don't sleep at night. Oh, and here's a pill for that.
Well, I will say this about uniting the people. Today, there was an episode at West Beverly High where Donna Martin, and here's my fucking problem with the 90s generation. no
Hang on,
offense.
you're judging an entire generation based on a single
No
episode
offense. I'm
of a
telling.
single episode of a television show.
Yes, I am. So
Okay.
stay with me.
I'm gonna
people.
go for a swim while my husband goes on some
All right.
sort of old man ridiculous tirade.
So Donna Martin, as played by Kelly Spelling or whatever. Tori Spelling. Her dad
Incredible source.
ran the show. He also created Charlie's Angels and like the Love Boat or some goddamn thing like that, right? So he cast his daughter in this role. So on a very special 90210, I can't even believe I'm talking about this. So Donna Martin, who's the girl, she drinks during the prom. She was given champagne by a grown-up. And then somehow the kids got a hold of more
But what
champagne.
you're missing about that episode
Yes.
was that they had the meeting about the rules for the prom.
They had the meeting about the rules for the prom
The night before.
the night before.
It wasn't on the agenda.
Wasn't on the agenda.
The full board wasn't there.
The full board wasn't there, and they
And so
passed
they
a rule
passed
that
the
there's
rules.
a zero tolerance underage drinking at the prom,
And also, they put a uniform policy in for the fall.
and they put a uniform policy in for the fall. Be that as it may, they put this rule in place. Whether it's fair, whether it's not fair, they put a rule in place. Donna Martin,
who had been an exemplary
who
student,
was an exemplary student, broke the rule by getting shithoused, and broke the rule of zero drinking or zero drunk alcoholness at the prom. So
but hang on, she was a minor, so why did they go
she
after
was a
Mel
minor.
Silver?
Right. They should have gone after Mel
Dr.
Silver.
Mel Silver, dentist.
Okay, so the dentist that gave them the alcohol, but I'm not sure Steve got like the 2 more bottles of champagne that he popped in the limo was also from
They were all from Mel.
Okay, so they were all from him. So that guy should have been in trouble. Now Donna Martin, she goes in front of the school and they said, well, we're going to go in front of the school board and we're going to suspend you and we're going to see if we're going to let you graduate. So she hears from the hearing. She loses. She's not supposed to graduate with her friends. Oh my God, what are we going to do? This girl is not going to graduate. So all the kids decide we're not going to take our finals, and we're only going to take our finals if Donna graduates with us, because it was like this big wrong. She did the drinking. There was I don't care if the rule was put in 5 minutes before the goddamn prom. She broke the rule. She did the underage drinking. I don't care where she got it from. She was in the wrong. She did the crime. She should have done the time. And now the whole school goes down. Donna Martin graduates. They're standing in front of like the school building. Donna Martin graduates. Now, what I'm saying is that if you're gonna motivate,
but the parents followed the proper procedure. They went before the school board, and the students chose to walk out because they felt that the punishment didn't fit the crime. It was a rule that was put in place with outside of the parliamentary procedures established in advance by the school board.
A parliamentary.
That's what they're called. Bylaws, whatever you want to call them.
There was a rule in place. She broke it.
But they put that rule in place. They weren't supposed to be able to put that rule in place because they didn't follow the procedure of the board. So they couldn't do it. Well, that's how it works in the real world. And the punishment is meant to fit the crime.
So basically this drunk ass chick gets off on a technicality. But my point was, and that's not the point. My point was, you're gonna get the whole school to risk more punishment and not graduating?
Well, because she wasn't the only person that drank at the prom. She was the only person that got caught. She was the only one that got trouble. And their protest wasn't just about Donna. It was about the uniforms as well. If you were paying attention, you would have seen that.
I did see that. My point was, all these people felt so self-righteous with their Donna Martin graduate chant in their signs, and they go down to the school building, and they were disrespectful.
If the school board passes policies that violate the bylaws, they are violating the students' rights and the parents' rights, for that matter.
I'm pretty sure underage drinking it should be in the fucking bylaws if it's on the bylaws. Folks, what do you think?
They changed the policy and they did it against the procedures of the committee, and that's why it didn't stand. And also, the punishment ought fit the crime. So there's kids that do shit all the time that are constant problems for academics, and they get away with murder. They continue to do it, and whatever happens with their life happens with their life. And then a good kid fucks up one time, and it's going to be held against them for the rest of their lives. Did you ever do anything stupid?
It wasn't going to be held over.
Did you ever do anything stupid?
That's not the point.
Did you ever do anything stupid?
She was going to graduate in August.
Did you ever do anything stupid?
No, never. God, no. I will marrying this lady from the 90s.
I will drown you.
I know you will.
He can't swim. I will just drown him in anything.
So
here's a whole conversation. Charlie says sensitivity. When we grew up, there was no sensitivity. Yeah, no, there was not. There was a lot of suck it up, buttercup, and we had to toughen our skin to not care. What happened to our world? Anne says, Charlie, you're right. No, so
Hang on, I have something to say about that.
okay.
I think being sensitive is not a bad thing. I think being overly sensitive and catering to certain things is a bad thing. But I don't think showing sensitivity and compassion is a bad thing. And now,
But I
back
think that
then,
we have,
I think we needed a little fucking.
but we do
sensitivity.
have like a legitimate problem right now with like the pussification of America.
Well, I will say this.
Like it's a problem.
I think there's.
Do you not agree that we have a problem?
Do
with
I think there's a pussification of America?
Yes.
I don't know if I do. I don't know if I don't.
Well, I do.
I think things are
I
probably
do.
trending into a more of an intellectual like sort of situation. But I'm telling you, being sensitive to needs and issues and things like that made make it tolerable to be gay or minority in this country at this point.
But being like not having people be coddled and handheld doesn't mean that you're not.
You're
homophobic.
There's a
That's a
line,
massive
right?
leap.
There's a line there.
No, there's a massive fucking leap because what you don't seem to realize, and this is something I brought up on the podcast more than once, and I would like to be on camera if possible. But I'm like I'm not over my head, but I'm in.
You want to switch spots?
Well, when I'm over there, I'm on the Doug and Stacy thing, so I don't really know what the best way to do this is. I don't know why it's backwards when we're down here, because when we're up there, it's not backwards. So do you hit the camera button?
Anything. I literally picked that up and moved it.
Okay, but you realize it's backwards.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus on the cross. So, I don't know how to fix that. I've never done it before, and I'm nauseous as fuck. Do you need help?
I'm coming.
I know, but I'm really nauseous. So, like,
All right. Well, why don't we wrap this up then?
I wanted to finish what I was saying.
Okay, go ahead.
What was I talking about?
Sensitivity and the pussification of America.
So, like, you have to understand that all this politically correct shit, all it has done is divide people. And people, there was a time where people found camaraderie in giving each other a hard time. Like that's our closest friends. We give each other hell. We give each other such a hard time. You and I give each other such a hard time.
But again, politically correctness and wokeism, right, or whatever
are the worst fucking things that ever happened.
A place of good. Political. I don't want to offend anybody. What's politically correct?
But that's the point, right?
And so then somehow it became a bad thing.
You know what? We have no. It's been a bad thing from the beginning because it's trying to control other people's speech and not trying to understand one another. But let's assume what people mean. Like, how about have a conversation where you ask questions instead of assuming anyone's against you or that they're for you, for that matter. For fuck's sake, I like everybody I meet. It's a problem. Like, I think everybody has the same heart as me. They're the same kind of person I am. They think the same as I do, that they're honest and caring and that they would do for me what I do for them. And you know how many times I have learned that is not true? A billion. Like I like 9 out of 10 times I encounter people, I find out that these people are shit. And you know what? That's okay. I need to work on that, admittedly. But I'm also not going to assume that all people are shit. I'm going to get to know people, ask questions, and try to understand them. I'm trying to get better at figuring people out sooner, but you know what? It's a work in progress. Anne says she agrees with Doug. I don't know if I can. I don't have a towel. Usually there's a towel here for me to dry my fingers on. Yeah, but I can't dry the pad. Anne agrees with Doug. She did break the rules, except the rules didn't. The rules were put into place at the last minute by the board they weren't on the agenda, and the policy is that it has to be on the agenda so that students and parents can voice their concerns. They pushed it through at the last minute, and that's the issue. And then the fact that her thing. So you can agree with Doug. That's fine. But they did let her graduate. So there, all of you. Donna Martin graduated. And then I thought about all the things that you could chant, because they chanted out the building, Donna Martin graduates, Donna Martin graduates. And I thought of the other words that you could use to say things that Donna Martin does. Like, Donna Martin masticates.
Yep.
Donna Martin hibernates. Donna Martin lubricates.
That's a little personal.
Donna Martin fornicates. Donna Martin what? Oh, and then we found out how poor Tori Spelling is.
Oh, and then we looked at Tori Spelling. She has like $500,000 to her name. And her dad, when the dad died, the dad had something like, I think $600 million when he passed away.
Yeah, she got 800 grand.
And left her 800 grand, which is now dwindled down to 500 grand apparently.
She blew all of that.
And she was working too.
At one point, Candy was helping her financially, and then she cut her off. And I guess her spending has been an issue for quite some time. Incidentally,
yeah, well,
I just used this to I just adjusted this kickboard a little bit, and I just plunged myself under the water.
I just saw that. I was like,
whoa!
And while you're talking. So anyways, just be nice to people. That's all I'm saying.
Does anybody have any comments there?
Yeah, I can't reach it though. Hang on.
No sweet baby Jesus on a cross.
Let's see. Bingo, Stacy. This government doesn't want men, women. They want everyone same, indistinguishable, and they can be trained.
Bah! Bah! That's what they want.
Not exactly sure that I don't think there's some government conspiracy to do that, but
you don't think that there's a government conspiracy in the education system in this country to teach people to work for corporations and be cogs in the machine?
I don't think there's some grand conspiracy to brainwash people into thinking to doing that. I do think, however,
so you don't think,
I think as a society people are putting the
you don't think that marketing companies intentionally brainwash people?
Oh, absolutely.
So why do you think the government doesn't do it?
Because
the government does their own marketing.
Yes, I'm sure they do, but I don't think the government sits there and say, "Oh, gee," like they don't wake up every day. And
can you take that off the screen?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's how my perspective is a little different. I think society does it to itself. Society can't get out of its own way a lot of times.
No,
society cannot drink the fucking fluoride water.
But
society cannot take the
but they're listening to what they're told by the media, which is marketing companies working through in cooperation with the media and the government. The government has their own marketing. Like when they pass a bill, they have a marketing team figure out how to market that. The news is marketing. Like it's all marketed to the American people. And the whole point of education was to teach people to be smart enough, as George Carlin would say, smart enough to operate the machines, but dumb enough to just keep living in debt and paying their fucking taxes. That's what they want from us. You don't believe that? What do you think that they're what are they doing with your tax dollars? Are you happy with where your tax dollars are going?
I don't think anybody's ever happy with where their tax dollars are going.
But I just can't. Okay. What is the last comment?
I think that was...
no, there's one after that. There's one after that.
It said something about a conforming blob.
We need to be a conforming blob. That is what they would like. I agree.
Yeah, but my thing is that people need to figure out how to not be the fucking blob.
But you're saying, okay, so
you're saying that the government is in marketing and everybody is evil and trying to control for their best
interest.
I
believe organizations are going to do what's in the best interest of the organization.
Right.
People in power are going to do everybody does what's in not everybody, but corporations, the media, and the government all have very similar interests.
Okay.
And that is each other. They have mutual self-benefit. And let me finish what I'm saying before you cut me off. They have mutual self-benefit. And as such, they play one game and we are not a part of that game. We are pawns in their little fucking game. And what I don't understand is how you can say on the one hand, well, they're not trying to do anything bad, but then people need to do things outside of the system. Well, why do they need to do things differently, Doug? If I'm wrong that the government is fucking with us, that they're taking advantage, that they're nefarious, and the media is nefarious, if I'm wrong about that, okay, but then why do we need to do things that are anti the system if the system is so great? And why do people vote in favor of bigger government? Go ahead. How is that? I know everything. I asked a question.
All I was saying is that society is part of the fucking problem because they're taking the the
Yes,
pharma.
but I'm saying,
They're
but I'm
eating the
saying,
crappy
but I'm
food.
saying
They're-
that you're saying that these organists, why do they need to do something differently? It's a legitimate question. Why do they need to do something differently if these organizations are not nefarious?
I don't think they get up. I don't think they get up every day. How are we going to screw these people in screw them over and do this and
No, they're
like,
going to do whatever they
I
can
do
get
not
away
think
with.
I do not think the government is 100% evil, and I think that's the perspective that you come from. And now I choose to take it from a different.
But then why do
perspective,
people
that
need to do
people
things
are
differently?
inherently good?
I just don't feel like you've answered my question, which was, why do people need to do things differently if the government and corporations are not nefarious?
Because they're part of the problem, is what I'm saying. If
Yes, but I'm saying that if they weren't nefarious, people wouldn't need to. They could do whatever the government said. If they weren't nefarious,
if I'm not, if the government wasn't nefarious, you're saying the government is
I mean,
nefarious.
yeah, I'm saying that why would anyone need to do anything differently if the government isn't
I don't
nefarious?
even understand the question anymore. I'm tired of this.
I think I have a valid point, though.
I don't even know what your point is. All point I was trying to make is that I
Okay.
don't think the government is sitting back. Oh, how can we make this happen? How can we turn our boys into girls? How can we take effeminize men so that they can't fight back and this, that, and the other thing? I don't think they think like that. I don't think they run the school systems to
Do you think
turn
that
out
they're
like-minded
do you-
people
really?
that will follow their fucking robotic orders. I think the problem is that the society that we have needs to value different things than they value, like such as fancy things or Kardashians or things like that, right? I think these people need to start asking questions. I think the people in general, because the people in general have created the monster, and the monster is just like, hey, let's do this. Such as there was like any aid or any programs that go out there are people find a way to fuck them over,
but
whether they're good or not.
listen, I have more respect for people who are taking from the government than the government that is taking from me, because no matter, and don't get me wrong, I have a very big fucking problem with people abusing social services, but I also believe social services are something that that we should provide as a community, which is something that we did prior to the Great Depression. If you needed help, you went to your town or your local church and there was help for you. And now, of course, we've created a situation with people being dependent on the government, and it's a snowball effect. If you are a recipient, I actually wrote my economics thesis on welfare, that in that people who are a recipient of welfare are 7 times more likely to be a recipient of welfare as adults if they were a recipient of welfare as a child. So it's exponential growth. But I do want to answer the questions here. Charlie Ann says, "Oh, Doug, I can have you watch some things that will change your mind and how you look at the government." Jeff says, "We live in a capitalistic society. Money is the key to survival. The government, large corporations, big business, small business, right down to the individual are controlled by making money. All of those institutions don't control the people, the money does." Are you okay? I do believe that money controls people, but power controls people more than money. And I think that most people in this country, they don't really want much. They want the things that they're sold on television. They want their family, like they want to be stress free. They want to laugh. They want to be, and they also want to be numb to the pain in their lives. And so I think that you're right, that money, you should always ask yourself, where's the money? Who owns the money? How's this about money? That's always my question. But I do think that there's people in the world that could give 2 shits about it. And I'm one of them. But that might be why we're poor. And then Charlie says, schools teach our children to be a generation of sheep, slaves to the generation. Slaves to the corporation. I agree with you. George Carlin agreed with you. I don't get the impression that you agree with that.
I don't agree with that.
Okay. And we have been trained since we were young. I agree with that as well. Dave says, without money, you will simply suffer, simply exist till you die. I'm a capitalist because I have no other choice. Well, that's why we keep talking about wanting to have a hippie commune. Of course, there's been all these comments in the meantime. Dave says, don't get me wrong, capitalism is doing great. Did I say Jeff?
Dave twice.
Oh, sorry, Dave. Jeff, not Dave. Sorry, it's been a long day. Don't get me wrong, capitalism is great for me, but our society would be much better and healthier if money wasn't in control. The problem is that when you get, and there was a guy in Rogan, I forget who it was, but they basically talked about societal structures. And what they said was that once a society gets to a certain size, be it money or power, because money really is, a visual, tangible representation of power, that within small groups of people, it's not an issue. But once the group becomes larger, you get that competitiveness, and that's, of course, what we have dealing on with our society. The powerful got powerful for money. Exactly. Money, power, same thing. Although you can have power and not need money. And you can hold power in this country and become very, very rich as a public servant. Anne says the government and higher have been working on the New World Order since Eisenhower. They have also been working on lowering the population as we've got too many people in the world. There's probably some truth to that. I know Doug would not agree with that. Safe to say you do not agree with that?
I missed those.
I said the government and higher have been working on the New World Order since Eisenhower. They have also been working on lowering the population. There's too many people in the world. And I believe there's some truth to that.
It's possible.
Charlie says schools don't teach critical thinking, how to be independent, or how to build a better life. Schools teach to follow directions. Don't be too creative. Schools are not at all schools are not all that they were. That last sentence didn't make any sense to me, but I agree with you. They don't teach critical thinking. I think we were taught critical thinking. We went to Catholic school, but I don't believe it happens anymore. I was, to say disappointed in my children's education would be the understatement of the decade. What do you think, Doug? Do you think schools teach critical thinking?
I agree that they usually just teach to the test and getting rankings for the town and getting the money from the federal money and the state money. I think that schools are failing our kids. Yeah, and I think you trace that back to who's coming up with the curriculum, who's creating these tests. Are the tests a good idea?
But why has the curriculum changed so much? They're like.
I think here's what it is. I think data has changed the curriculum because you needed to have data point. Everything's a data point, right? And everything needs to be measurable. And
because of money and power.
Because of money.
Because of money and power.
Getting money. I don't know about power, but
of course it's about money and power. It's about governors getting reelected, school board officials getting reelected. It's about the school, teachers unions having their say and using other unions to their benefit. It's about the school administrators having power, and they all have power over our children, and everybody has no choice. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are people who make a choice to send their children to private school, or even people who choose to homeschool, but most people are taxed so much that both parents have to work. Homeschooling their children isn't an option. And the quality of education, and most parents don't even have time to do their kids' homework with them, much less worry about the quality of education that their child is getting.
But here's the problem, right? You have teachers, individuals that want to go into teaching,
but teaching
because they want to work with children and help.
But that's not what's happening anymore. What's happening is, it used to be a teacher would say, your father is a professor, that he would say, okay, I have a second grade class. This is the curriculum I'm going to follow. This is the lessons I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Oh, I have this teaching manual. They have some great ideas in here. I'm going to do some of my own things. I've been teaching for 40 years. I have all kinds of great ideas. Those people are out because this is what you teach. This is how you teach it. I've watched countless interviews with teachers who were like, everything I loved about teaching is gone. It's all about the administration. You said this. It's all about the administration. It's all about the test. And you know what gets them? Money. They have the test scores. Money. It doesn't get the teachers' money. It doesn't get the students educated. But you know what will get the teachers' money is the fucking union. You know what's not going to get the students' money? No one. No one gives a shit about the students. And their parents are too fucking stressed out. They're too overworked and they can't even think about it. And then Anne says, Doug, you're right. People are dumb and should start to question everything. Yes, I agree. I think people should question everything, but I think that the reason that you have to question everything is because these organizations are nefarious. That's what I think. So, it is, somebody says, critical thinking is all about questioning everything, which the schools and the government is opposed to. Our children are thought to follow their directions. Yes, that is so true. And I will tell you that the perfect example I have of that is when my kids did math in school and they were taught the new math, which by the way has been removed now from, the schools that it was placed in. And it was the kids were taught to do math in this new fangled way or whatever it was. And they, and so the kid would come home and they would have trouble with a problem. And you would try to help your kid and you would try to show them how to do it. And they'd be like, no, I can't do it that way. I have to do it this way. Actually, no, you don't. It's the same answer. If you show your work, it's fine, however you get there. But parents were undermined. Parents have been replaced as an authority in their children's lives. And then when the children are rebelling the most, they go off to college on the parents' dime and have a totally different value set instilled. And I'm not saying that children shouldn't explore the world and draw their own conclusions, but I'm saying that they should be taught to question everything, not just their parents. And maybe have a little respect for their parents. Who knows? Titan Brew has joined us. Says Facebook is buffering, so I came here. Well, we're glad you're here. We're almost done. It's 9:30 at night. We do a live interact. Doug's here. Nope, you're not here.
I'm here somewhere.
Yeah, there you go. We do a live interactive podcast Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Although we're not sure what direction we're going to go with it. We're live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. You can comment along, be part of the show, and everybody here has become very good friends. Ann says, amen, Charlie, and Titan Brew says, me, Jeff.
So I guess we figured out who Titan Brew is.
Ann says, thanks. I don't know who that is. Oh,
Jeff.
Our Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, I'm glad you're back. It was a rather heated exchange tonight. That's what happens when we don't have a topic. We get into 90210 and the deep-seated issues behind daughter Martin graduating. I don't know. I feel like I grew up with those kids. In any case, Charlie says, welcome, Titan. I like this Titan thing. It's kind of funny. I'm super queasy and it's 9:30. So let's do gratitude real quick. I'm grateful that Titan Bruce says, thanks, Archbishop. Archbishop is Charlie. He's just a little, you too, with your names. They're like, I'm Titan Bruce. I'm Archbishop. That's hilarious. I'm thankful that for cannabis oil because it makes me in less pain. I'm thankful for my biomat because I'm probably going to sit on that when I go inside. I'm thankful for this pool. I'm thankful. I don't know. I want to be thankful for rain, but we didn't really get any.
No, we didn't. It sprinkled a little, but that was about it.
I'm thankful that we got to watch Donna Martin graduate today because that was fun. There's literally nobody on camera right now. I'm thankful for I get to talk to my friend Christina today, and I get to talk to my friend Zach today. I'm grateful my friend Dave came. Of course, I'm always thankful for Ann and Jeff and Todd and Charlie and was Tom here earlier?
Titan Brew.
Titan
Tom
Brew is
Milmore
Jeff.
was here. Yeah,
It's Jeff. Tom Milmore.
I know it is Jeff.
So I'm grateful for everybody that supports the podcast. We're really not sure what direction we're taking it in now. We would love any feedback from you guys.
I might do puppets, like it might be a Stacy puppet.
You're not even on camera. You're not even on camera. You weirdo. So anyway, that's where we're going with it, and we appreciate you guys. And if you could tell your friends, let us know what you think we should be doing different, because we're not sure what we're going to do anymore. And you say something because I'm going to swim because I feel like
she's going to swim.
For some reason, swimming makes me feel a little less nauseous. But every joint in my body hurts while I do it. So
I am grateful to live near owls because I always think that is a neat thing. I am thankful for having to not cook dinner today. I was thankful to having enough food to eat and enough water to drink. And thank you very much for my tureen. I am also thankful for the roof over our heads. It's a soup. It's not a soup tureen. It's a water tureen. And
are you thankful for your bathtub hand job?
I was thankful that my wife came to see me in the tub today. That was fun. And thankful for having good friends on the internet. And I was also thankful here for my buddy George today called. We didn't really talk very long, but it was still funny.
What are those friends? What are the people thankful for?
Well, what are you guys thankful for? Anything? Titan and Brutus are two of their dogs. How many goddamn dogs do you have, Titan? Nobody said anything other than that. But yeah, I didn't know. I thought you had one dog. I didn't know they had two, at least
I
two,
only knew about the
two
one.
of our dogs. Like there's two, so there must be more.
Or maybe they
leading
used to have
that
those
thing.
dogs and they don't anymore, and they just have Penny now.
Why is all this happening, Stacy? People want to be better than their neighbor, and it's come down to greed. That's our own fault. And you know whose fault that is? That was Michael Douglas in the movie Wall Street, where he said greed
I
is
don't
good.
know that people want to be better than their neighbor, but they want to be like their neighbor. Hence
Well,
the phrase,
yeah,
keeping
it's
up with
keeping
the
up with the
Joneses.
Joneses. Archbishop says he's thankful for the rain, which is, I guess you guys have had some humidity
hot.
up there, and I guess the California, the Canadian wildfires are wreaking havoc again. Yeah, I guess they're rearing their ugly head. But there was a map, and they put like little fire icons across like where the locations of the thing was, but they had zoomed out on the map, so it looked like the entire of Canada was on fire. So, which I don't think is true, but. It's just Penny now. Titan and Brutus. But I'm sorry to hear that. So yeah, I knew about Penny, but yeah, there's we don't have any dogs. We had a lizard,
lost our
but
dog.
we think he left us.
We lost our dog and our lizard.
So we're not, maybe meant to have pets. Anyways, I'm gonna go in and dry off. You guys have been fantastic tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Say bye, Stace.
Bye. I don't think I'm on camera, so.